this is definitely a critical area in Schedule Validator's development. We've had some integration tools, we've had API availability, but we're providing in our new API interface that actually was released yesterday, not for all customers. We have some customers that we're testing it on, doing some testing just before we release it to full user group. But just kind of want to give you a heads up. This is a big part of where the industry's going, where our, certainly our development team is going, and what we're doing is open this up so that, basically, and Todd's going to show you here, you'll be able to really drill down into specifics, a whole group of schedules, a whole group of, even down all the way down to activity levels. If you wanted to run trends on certain activities throughout your organization over the lifespan of a project, what happened to, concrete or framing or whatever. So much analytic type of work that you can do with what we're showing. So just to kind of give you an overview, this is kind of how the API is rolled out. This is version 2 of our API, and it's going to really open things up. And just before Todd starts, just want to let you know we have part of our development team is putting together some report templates so that if your group organization tries to do that, we can help set up templates to make things really go fast, give you a head start, or we'll actually have some of our partners that'll be able to really help you integrate not only just Schedule Validator, but other tools within your other systems within your organization. So just want to kind of throw that out. That's a big part of our this new release that came out yesterday. So Todd will kind of give you a preview of what we're talking about on the back end.
Yep. Thanks, John. And I would be curious to know if you are, as you're looking at the use of APIs, maybe you're already utilizing APIs with some of the other applications. But if you wouldn't mind just maybe throwing into chat, what other applications that you believe where Schedule Validator will be most utilized, that will also help us in the development of our efforts around the reporting, that type of thing. So if you're anticipating pulling data, out of Schedule Validator and putting into Power BI, that'd be great. If you have other applications like, Oracle or Kahua or Procore, or any of these other applications out there, let us know where you anticipate utilizing the data, and then we can start to think about how to help you in doing that. We've been joined by Chris Underwood as well on the call. Chris is our CTO, and so he's going to keep me honest here as I go through a little bit of the process around how to get started with this. And again, if you're interested in kind of being a part of this pilot as we launch this week and next, we're in the background developing more of the reports and giving you access to more and more data over the next week or so. But well, we're certainly willing to work with some of you to get you started and going. So this is you'll receive from us a link. It won't have the dev in front of it, but it'll have an API, schedulevalidator.com swagger. And this will be where you can see what's available to you through the API going forward. So that'll be, again, a list that continues to develop. Each of these items has a little bit of a further drill down on what exactly is included in that particular item. And again, you can see kind of the types of data that you'll be able to gain access to via the API. It is substantial compared to what we used to provide. Chris, for our audience here, any other comments around this as far as once they gain access to the URL?
Well, it's a lot easier to use. If you click that authorize button on the top right, Todd, you'll see in your enterprise admin interface, there's a section called API keys, and you just generate a key, and it's a long string of characters, and you just use the key, and it segments. Yeah, hit add API key there. Yeah, you give it a name.
I call them Power BI, right?
Good example. Yeah.
Yep. And then I
And
can make this expiration date, really any date that I want to make it, but
click never expires. There's no reason to expire it necessarily.
okay.
Yeah. And then hit save on that. And you'll notice there's a little copy to clipboard icon right there.
Yep.
Click that. And then back in the Swagger there, you can paste that into there and hit authorize, and boom, you're authorized. And all this will operate in Swagger, and it works exactly the same way. If you Swagger, just to be clear, is an interface to demo and test your access to the API. It's all developers kind of expect this to be there. It lays out the endpoints and the parameters they take and the schema that it returns. And but if you're using Power BI, it's the same thing. You just paste in the authorization key and you'll be able to call these endpoints. You don't need to specify anything else. No login, username, email, any of that, like it used to be on the version 1. And all of the endpoints are functioning with GET requests, which is also the easiest way to use them in Power BI. Once it's put into a system like Power BI, you'll have effectively a bunch of interrelated tables and that can be, output to lists, to charts, to whatever kind of dashboard structure you have, and all the appropriate keys are there. And I'm not gonna get too technical about it, but let's just say it's easy to use in Power BI.
Well, the nice and the nice thing, Jemima, we mentioned this, is that we'll have some templates, just some basic templates to where it'll make it easy for users to go in and use that. And I do want to add where this is set up as part of an enterprise. This is set up as an enterprise function, to be able to pull information across all the enterprise. A lot of the challenges that enterprise have, and even with our org charts and things like that, is so many different ways that companies want to get their data, and it's kind of hard to develop internally from a Schedule Validator standpoint. It's like, okay, how are we going to put that dashboard exactly right, the right framework? So this is going to allow you to really just basically put org charts, build your own org charts any way you want to do it. We can help you do it. And one more thing to add, as I started to say, this is for an enterprise function, but even our professional users, if you're a professional user and you want to be able to do this for some of the projects that you're working on, we would basically just convert you to a one-person enterprise, basically, real simple. And you can do that. So if that's something that you'd be interested in doing, make sure you reach out to Todd, and even as a pro user, you can just, if you're not even on an enterprise, we would have that available as well. So I wanted to throw that in there.
Great. And then just to be specific, when you go into your Schedule Validator environment, you're going to go over to your enterprise admin setting. That's what takes me into this view of this fictitious company, Hollywood Builders. You're all pretty familiar with this, I believe, around you set up your users, your org chart, risk profiles, and that's where you're going to find this API key tab as well. So again, at the enterprise admin level is where you'll have access to that, and you can start creating the API keys moving forward. That being said, I'll kind of open up any questions or comments or any thoughts as how companies anticipate using this. We'd love to hear from our customers and go from there. Lauren, you had a question regarding the ability to import actual costs and quantity data from P6 into Schedule Validator rather than doing some manual process currently. So yeah, we can certainly talk about that and how we would pull the data into the system right now.
This is great for pulling data out of Schedule Validator.
Yeah.
My question that relates to bringing data into Schedule Validator that's now currently a manual process. So maybe it's off topic for today.
It is slightly, but that is on the roadmap, I can tell you, to allow direct import instead of hand entry.
That's 2 releases from now. And we're talking we're doing releases fairly quickly, right? That the API release was this week. We have a new enterprise release that's coming out with some new enterprise functionality, user functionality, and is the next major release. And then the one after that is going to have it'll be able to pull resources and cost from a schedule. We're on,
Perfect.
this is 2.1, that's 2.3.
So it's our early
that's-
Q2.
We're hoping to have that just about in time for, or close to the time for the user conference. That's kind of
All
our,
right. All right. That would be perfect for sure. It's actually been asked for by a few people now.
Yeah, and we hear it every day, Lauren, with regards to customers wanting that import. But I can tell you, if they, it doesn't take very long, just a few minutes to set up that detail at the project level around the resources and the financial worksheet.
Yeah.
Doesn't take too long. And as we learned, we were at the Hanson Wade event in Houston earlier this week, and we talked to a lot of customers around that idea. And nobody's updating that data in P6. And so when our customer or prospect saw that at the Houston event and even set up for themselves really quickly what they would needed to do in order to set up that financial worksheet, it's 10 to 15 minutes tops. If you have the data to set it up in the system. So
yeah, I just and I'll keep this brief. Just yesterday, this group of people, they're very interested in Schedule Validator. Their big comment was, we do all our updating in P6. They don't want to manually enter anything again. They want to bring it straight into the Schedule Validator, be able to report on that in Schedule Validator. Otherwise, we thought it was a great tool. So congratulations to the three of you. This specifically, you're the programmer behind, leading the development behind all this. So it's great.
Yeah, well, a round of applause goes to Chris for sure. He really carried the torch for us here the last few months, and we're making good progress. But
and I would give credit to my team.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you used to have dark hair, and you were.
I started this effort with black hair. That's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
You and me both, buddy. You and me both.
Okay. Okay. Thanks for that.
Good.
And I would also like to see at some point a specific use of this. I'm a visual learner, so it helps.
Yeah, well, I think let's get you set up with the access to the environment, and I think that'll help. Again, we rely heavily on our customers to provide that in the field feedback, give us the good, what I call voice of customer, and making sure we're doing the things that we need to do to make you successful in delivering your projects to your customers. And Angela, your comment regarding moving this into the Power BI, I mean, yes, we believe that is probably the first and highest use case for this data today will be to move it out of Schedule Validator and put it into a Power BI environment, and then be able to perhaps do some different things there, especially around some of the, like John was mentioning, that org chart functionality. We have quite a number of customers who have, project schedulers or even project managers, superintendents that might be in different districts or areas of the business. And so from an org chart perspective, they, as well as the associated projects to their name, show up in both org charts. And so we're working on a way to improve the org chart functionality, but certainly the use of the API is one way that you could do that, I think, pretty easily. So that's just one simple use case that we think will be pretty relevant right out of the gate here. Again, the new access to this API does require our customers to have a different subscription model with Schedule Validator, one that is done by project versus by user. For lack of a better marketing term, we're calling this Enterprise Plus today. And Enterprise Plus does provide our customers with unlimited users, but there's a limit as to the number of projects you can have active in the system, and you'll pay on a per project basis. So if you are a current customer of ours, we'd love to speak to you about what that looks like for your current contract. If you're a partner or a net new prospect looking at us, certainly happy to sit down with you and talk about that as well. So if you would like to move forward, probably starting early next week on this, shoot me a note here or put it in the chat here, and I'll reach out to you individually, and Chris and I can work to get you set up and get you started with this API. And again, we're thinking probably March 10th will be kind of the more general availability for our customers overall, but wanted to kind of give you, this group here, kind of first level access to this going forward. Any other questions on this particular subject, or is there a subject that someone might have a question about just in general regarding Schedule Validator? Happy to take on those today as well. All right.
No, I'm good. Thanks very much for answering my questions.
Yeah, I'm happy to do so. And again, thanks for everyone's support. We've had a busy first quarter here, and we're real excited about what this is going to do for our customers moving forward.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen.
Sounds good.
Anything else? All right, everyone. Nothing else. Have a great day. Thank you so much. And feel free to reach out to me directly if you have any questions or any specific needs.